does not define me. Its purpose was to refine me. God, he took my broken pieces to transform and renew me. Now I'm beautifully reconstructed. Beautifully reconstructed. I'm beautifully reconstructed. Beautifully reconstructed. I am. Let's talk. Let's heal. Let's live.
Great morning. I'm Michelle Patrice Wade of Beautifully Reconstructed. We are the ministry devoted to helping others discover that God can use the broken pieces of their past to beautifully reconstruct them and so that they can thrive into their divine destiny. And today we have a special guest. This young lady is a phenomenal young lady doing phenomenal things in the kingdom, and I am so honored to have her join me today. Thank you so much for joining me on today, Ms. Diamond Bolling.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here.
Absolutely. If you would start by sharing a little bit about who Diamond Bolling is.
Yes, again, my name is Diamond Bolling. I am your current reigning Miss Plus America 2024. I am a Spelman grad. I am the founder and CEO of my nonprofit organization called HEALHer Foundation. It's a 501c3 geared towards helping women heal. We focus on providing economic stability, promoting physical health, and balancing mental and emotional well-being. I am also a national board certified health coach, and I am also a certified UX designer.
Your plate is full, and you're a mom to two adorable little boys.
My heart beats Braxton.
Yes, I want you to start out by telling us your passion behind HEALHer. It's such a phenomenal name even when you look at your logo, it speaks volumes. So tell us about your journey to HEALHer as well as the actual logo, because it speaks on its own.
Yes, so HEALHer was birthed, HEALHer Foundation was really birthed through the healing that I felt like I needed, and I felt like every woman that I know needs. I hit my lowest point. Functional depression is real. And it got to the point where functioning wasn't functioning anymore. I was laying in bed and I remember telling my mom, I said, I know that I want to create a nonprofit. A lot of my experience, like I've, went to school, but I did AmeriCorps for 2 years. And so that's what introduced me to the nonprofit sector. And I fell in love because I love giving back to my community. And I said, okay, how can I create this and give back to my community, but in the way that I feel like the community needs it? And a lot of people don't realize that every time I talk about HEALHer, HEAL is always capitalized because in reality it's an acronym. So it stands for Holistic Expressive Approach to Love Her Foundation. And healing really, it begins and it ends with your heart. So that's kind of where you see the logo and the looping, because I want everyone to know that it's with love. Everyone deserves to heal. There's no trauma too small. Like, yes, we, help those individuals who may have, been a victim of domestic violence or sexual assault. But we also help those women whose parents may have divorced when they were younger and they didn't heal, or they, have low self-esteem, or even as much as like I hit my 30s, I can't find a job and I feel like a failure. Like there's no trauma too small. You experience it at all stages. And everyone deserves to be whole, heard, and healed. And that's what HEALHer Foundation is for.
One of the things that I appreciate about what you stated was that there's no trauma too small, because oftentimes we can minimize what we're feeling. And even when you talked about the fact that you were functioning in depression, it definitely is real.
Yeah.
Attest to it myself. And oftentimes, even if you minimize what you're going through, then you can move forward and doing just that, leading yourself into a place where you don't have to be. Because if you just admit to how you're feeling, admit to the trauma that you've experienced, then you can move forward from it. Now, not to say that it's not a process. However, healing is obtainable.
Yes. I always tell people there is no destination. It's a never ending journey. I even recently wrote a book. It's compiled of poetry because again, I'm a poet and I've been writing since, you know, as long as I can remember. It's been kind of my outlet. But at the end of my book, a lot of people don't realize that there's a prose section. So the reason why the book, it's titled HEALHer Anthology, Fragments of Her
Actually
Soul.
have the book. So look at this beautiful cover. This is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
It is.
And I named it HEALHer Anthology because anthology is just a whole bunch of writings together. It's no structure. It doesn't have to be necessarily a book or telling a story. And so I did that purposely because, again, I'm a poet. I gave a lot of poetry in there, but then there's also a section behind each poem where you are able to journal and reflect based off of what you heard. And then at the end of the book, I have a 3-part series where it says beginning, the middle, and then the continued journey, never ending. And I made sure to say that to kind of play on, beginning, middle, and end, but it doesn't end. Healing is continuous and it's a journey. And I wanted to kind of leave that piece with individuals.
Absolutely. I think that when we say an end, it may be an end to a current chapter. Oftentimes, I find that there are different areas that I may walk in my healing. I may be strong in an area. However, there may be something I need to grow into. So if I'm growing in that area, then and my growth is strong, then maybe that's a chapter I can close and move forward to something else. Because we're constantly growing. The only thing that does not grow is something that is not living. And so as long as we have breath in our body, we're going to continuously grow.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Now, and I appreciate the fact that when you give an opportunity for someone to reflect, because oftentimes that gives us an opportunity to see us and what is being stated through a writing piece, not just see the author, but see ourselves through the story expressed.
Yes, yes. And it's very important to me. I tend to I have a discerning spirit. I feel like I can kind of pick and feel a lot around me. And so even when I write, I can be in my most vulnerable state in moments. And even when I speak, it feels like I'm not speaking just for me. And that's always in my writing. And so oftentimes, even though I make it have a personal touch, I give it a space where when you read, you're reading what you feel, what you see. It's putting words to things that you felt like you didn't have words for. And so even when it comes to HEALHer Foundation, a lot of times, like I feel like, this journey, it wasn't for me. It was for everybody who needs to heal. And even though it's not easy, I am not done on my journey. I am still on it. But I am doing what I feel God is wanting me to do.
Hmm. what you stated is something that I believe that we all can grow from. You stated that I'm still on my journey, but I still can help others. Oftentimes we want to be at a certain place. Now, there are certain times when you are not in a place where you need to work on you first. We recognize that. However, you're not going to be perfect. And if you feel as if you have a purpose that God is calling you to, don't procrastinate with it. Move forward, because if he is leading you to it, then that means that he is giving you the provision as well as the strength to move forward in that. You don't have to rely on your own strength. In fact, when we are weak, we are the strongest, because we are made perfect in his strength. And so oftentimes, we think that, okay, well, I can't do this because of XYZ. If God is calling you to do it, the perfect time is now.
Yeah. Even my pageant journey, I'll never forget what one of my best friends told me, and it kind of helped me push through the end of um, getting that national crown, which was, I'm out here, and like you said, I'm out here and I'm helping and I'm healing and I'm being a face to what people see as
Yes.
an organization, but I was still hurting. I was still
Mhm.
living. I am still a woman. And, at some points I'm like, well, do I need the crown? Like, can I get the crown? Because I'm going through this. I'm trying to handle this. I'm dealing with this. And she says, you can be all things. You can be a pageant queen, a state queen, a national queen, and still be a woman who is a single mom, who is working, trying to, better herself, getting her certification, all these different things, being in love, getting my heart broke, all of
Yes.
those things in one. I can be all of that because I'm human. And it stuck with me and it stays with me. And that is my motto that kind of helps keep me going too.
You can be, yes. We can't limit ourselves, just like because we have a purpose in the earth realm, and because we serve a God who has given us that purpose. When we limit ourselves based on what he's called us to, then we're limiting him. Because if he's called us to one thing and another thing and another thing and another thing, that means that he's graced us for all of those things that which he's called us to. Sometimes things may be challenging, and not to say that you might not get tired. However, when you have a grace for something, you refuse to quit because your passion is so overwhelming that you can't quit. Yes. And so I see that in you time and time again when you move forward and things. And I wanted to talk a little bit about your crown. What inspired you to pursue the crown?
So, conversations with my mom, HEALHer Foundation, I was really kind of like I've already been in the community, but I was really kind of stepping out more. I did a lot of modeling in my past, but I'm big on research. And my mom said, "Well, have you heard of this pageant system?" And I said, well, let me look into it." And I fell in love with the fact that it is a system that is all about authenticity, like loving me and who I am, giving back to my community, like community service. It was just all that I felt like would allow me to flourish while being me. And
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm a testament to that. Like from beginning to end, I've stayed true to who I am. I said I am a queen with or without the crown, and
Yeah.
I made it through nationals and got the crown, and I'm still out here doing amazing things. And you know, not only am I backing the system, but the system backing me
Mm,
that believes in the same end goal, which is being there to support our sisters, our queens, our community, and uplifting the platform and the voices of women who may not feel heard and seen.
You know, when you stated that the system is actually backing you, that speaks volumes. Now, when you say that they are, what type of support do you receive from the pageant world? Your sister queens, yes.
Yes, like my sister queens, I'm able to pick up the phone. I'm able to call, when I need to, all the way down to my director of the systems
Mm,
checking on me. And what I love is that it doesn't stop once I got to nationals. My state director still will check in and, give those words of how proud she is. And so just, you know, of course nothing is a perfect journey, a perfect road,
absolutely.
but I am a person who I can see, you know, where I am appreciated and I tend to just kind of flourish in that.
Okay. Now, when you talk about your road to healing, tell us some of the things that you experienced that led to the need for you to search for your healed place.
Um, so I am a single mom to my two boys. My journey starts young. Even from when I was in high school. My first time, I am a survivor of sexual assault.
Mhm.
I experienced it not once, but twice from two different people, both in the church world. The first one was the armor bearer to the pastor. And I am the type of person, or let me rephrase that.
Mhm.
I was the type of person who suppressed and buried
Mhm.
what I felt, what I went through because my voice wasn't important. And
Mhm.
that's what I told myself. Um, because I'm often told I'm soft spoken, it's well, because you are, others people's voices are louder. So it conditioned me to feel like, well, because my voice is soft, if someone is louder, it means that they
Mm.
they need to be heard. And so I just naturally, it put me in a place to kind of just watch and observe. And then I, experienced one of the worst griefs of my life, which is my dad passing. I told you I am a Spelman grad, and till this day, I remember the voice of him saying, come hell or high water, nothing's gonna stop me from being at my baby's graduation. And I never thought that I would ever see hell and high water until I
Mhm.
realized that my dad passed.
Yeah.
And 2 days after, I found out I was pregnant with my oldest. So it it's been constant things throughout the years. And then of course, there is the trauma that comes with, my kid's father. It's not the best relationship there, and trying to co-parent and you know co-parenting where you're healing from. It was to a point where it became very much all of it weighed down all at one time, and I said, I don't know what else to do. I was that 30-year-old or about to be 30 years old, couldn't find a job, feeling like a failure, suffering from low self-esteem, being the biggest that I had ever been because my youngest, I had some health concerns that happened when I got pregnant with him. And so my weight shot up. And so then that, was something to deal with. So everything that I speak about that HEALHer Foundation it stemmed from a space of, okay, yeah, I've had counselors in the past, I've had therapists when I've been through things, but I never fully still had what I needed. And it's like, who's going to have what I felt like I needed? And so I said, if I feel like that, I know there are others, and I want to be able to bridge the gap and provide that to women.
And that's the beauty about foundations like yours, Diamond, that oftentimes women, because we're speaking specifically individuals in a whole, however, because we're talking about women, especially, they will not. They will continue on this journey and just do what they are doing, being a wife, being a mother, suppressing the hurt because everything else becomes more important than their healing. And so when you have someone who is transparent enough to say that I've experienced this and I've experienced that, and they can look at your life and start to evaluate theirs, then it can give someone the strength and the confidence to sit down and say, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to do this for me. Because we do a lot for others. However, what about me? When am I going to take the time to heal so that I'm not going in a cycle? I'm not stuck. I can move forward.
And that's something that I always emphasize. I say that, everyone expects women to show up and be the superheroes with a smile on our face, but who's going to show up for us? Who steps in for us? And that's where HEALHer Foundation comes into play. And I say that it allows us to thrive so we could continue to be the true super heroes, and I capitalize HER when I type superheroes, because we are the superheroes that the world sees.
Yes, and we certainly are that women. We are definitely multifaceted and we play so many roles, and we are very needed. And so when a woman is not, it's so funny because a woman could appear as if she is thriving and that she is operating at full capacity. However, when she takes that mask off and she begins her process of healing, then you get to see the real her. Because oftentimes we have representatives that we use in public so that, we can just move forward in our daily activities. But when we get to the point where we take that mask off, then people can see the true beauty that is within.
Right, right. And we're able to see it because not only do you take the mask, there's women that I know and come in contact with who, yeah, they're in public and they have the mask on and the smile, but when they take the mask off, they don't even look in the mirror. So they're not seeing it. And it's about the foundation is about giving the woman the strength to not only show her face to the community, but first show her real self to her. Getting the look in that mirror and heal those places that, you may feel aren't noticed or, haven't been tapped into. Like, HEALHer Foundation is a vessel for God to shine the light on the places and the cracks that need to be seen.
I love that. I've stated that there was a point in my life that I had walked in the identity of that representative for so long that that's who I became until I gave my yes to God and He could start removing the parts that were pretend. For so long, once you've walked into that pretense identity, it becomes you. And then you, like you stated previously, when you see you see the beauty that God has created within you.
Yeah.
Diamond, I want you to share with the audience, how they can be a part of what you're doing in the community, whether it be if they need your services or they want to partner with you or they want to make a donation, whatever it would be.
Yes. So we are following us on all social media channels. We are under HEALHer Foundation. Again, you will always capitalize HEAL. That's the easiest way to find it. But we're on Facebook under HEALHer Foundation. We are on Instagram under HEALHer Foundation _ and I can be reached via email at like my name, Bolling, BOLLING, at HEALHerFoundation.net. We have our Zelle, which is under HEALHer Foundation. and we even have a Cash App too. But we're on PayPal under the charities because, like I said, we are 501c3 status, and we're always looking not only to provide services and help, but looking to partner and expand. I tell people, it's great to get women that come, through the foundation, but the goal isn't, me. I'm very person focused, mission focused, which means, we have our expertise, but we can't do it all. We can't do it all by ourselves.
Mhm.
Partnering with someone, I can assure a woman, well, hey, I know for sure this organization, let me connect you with, and we're the liaison. We are the staple in the community to make sure that you get what you truly need. And so we're always looking to partner and, spread the love.
Well, thank you, Ms. Diamond. Now, I also want you to share with the audience how they can get your book.
Yes, so we're on Amazon. If you type in HEALHer Anthology, Fragments of Her Soul, we will come up. It is hardback and paperback. So we have both options available. And fingers crossed, I'm actually in the process of trying to get an ebook version. So we'll see how that goes shortly. But yes, we have hardback and paperback, and we're on Amazon.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Ms. Diamond, for taking time out of your schedule to join us and share parts of your journey with us so that the women and just individuals, period, who are listening will take that time. Well, women, of course, heal her.
Yes.
Let's heal him.
Yes, yes, and
Heal him.
yeah, and that,
Because
that's
yes, we all have a parts of our journey that needs to be healed, men and women. So, but I appreciate the work that you're doing in the community and the kingdom because it's much needed. And you're a young woman, so I think that you can reach an audience of young and the old because not only you may be young, but you have wisdom. So I appreciate you, and the kingdom appreciates you, Ms. Diamond.
Yeah, I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, we also want to thank you, audience, for joining us today. I just want you to continue to remember that I am not, you are not, we are not inadequate. We are beautifully reconstructed. Until next time.
To transform and renew.